In the history of brutal dictators, some names echo through time. Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot. Their legacies are carved into our collective memory, but there are others, shadows in history, whose reigns of terror were so complete, so utterly insane, that they have been all but erased. This is the story of one such man, a name few people know, and a story even fewer have heard. This is the story of Francisco Macías Nguema, the first president of Equatorial Guinea. The year is 1968. A small West African nation, rich in cocoa and timber, celebrates its freedom from Spanish colonial rule. The world watches with hope as Equatorial Guinea becomes an independent republic. Its first elected president, Francisco Macías Nguema, a former clerk and translator, promises a new era of prosperity and sovereignty. But the celebration would be the dream of freedom was about to turn into a nightmare from which the nation would not wake for over a decade. Almost immediately after taking power, Macías began consolidating his control with a terrifying blend of paranoia and megalomania. He saw enemies everywhere, in the educated elite, in teachers, even within his own government. His first move was to declare himself president for life. Soon after, that title wasn't enough. He proclaimed himself the unique miracle and a living God. Citizens were forced to add in honor of Macías to their children's names. Religious worship was banned, replaced by forced devotion to him. Churches were desecrated, turned into warehouses or prisons, their crosses replaced with his portrait. The descent into madness was swift and total. Macías, who held a deep-seated hatred for intellectuals, embarked on a campaign to obliterate knowledge itself. He banned the word intellectual. Schools were shuttered across the country. Books were burned. Anyone caught wearing glasses was suspected of being an intellectual and could be arrested or executed on the spot. He was creating a nation of ignorance, a kingdom where he was the sole source of thought, the only mind allowed to function. His paranoia extended to modern medicine. He distrusted doctors, accusing them of being sorcerers and assassins. He outlawed Western medicine, ordering hospitals to close and promoting traditional witchcraft instead. People were left to die from treatable illnesses while the country's healthcare system crumbled into non-existence. The economy followed suit. He seized control of the national treasury, hoarding the country's wealth in suitcases under his bed in his village hut. He ordered the central bank governor executed and took his role. The nation, once one of the most promising in Africa, was spiraling into bankruptcy and starvation. The nights in Equatorial Guinea became filled with terror. Macías's security forces, a ruthless youth militia known as the Youth Marching, with Macías roamed the streets. Arrests were arbitrary. Torture was commonplace. The infamous Black Beach prison in the capital, Malabo, became a symbol of his reign. Eyewitness accounts describe horrifying scenes where guards, dressed as Santa Claus, would execute prisoners on Christmas Eve to the sound of amplifiers playing. Those were the days. Prisoners were forced to chant praises to Macías as they were beaten to death with iron bars. His methods were designed not just to kill, but to psychologically destroy his people. No one was safe. He ordered the execution of his own cabinet ministers, Often on a whim, he had his foreign minister killed for allegedly plotting against him. He turned on his own family, suspecting them of betrayal. The population plummeted out of a nation of roughly 300,000 people. It's estimated that up to 80,000 were killed. Another 125,000, nearly a third of the population, fled into exile, becoming refugees in neighboring countries and beyond. Equatorial Guinea became a silent, isolated, and broken land. A personal fiefdom ruled by a madman. For 11 years, the world largely looked away. The country was sealed off, a ghost state on the coast of Africa. So, how does a reign of terror, this absolute, finally end? Not with a popular uprising. The people were too broken, too terrified to fight back. Not with foreign intervention. It ended with the ultimate betrayal. The one person Macías believed he could trust, the man he had personally trained and promoted, was his own nephew, Teodoro Obiang Nguema. In 1979, seeing the country utterly destroyed and likely fearing for his own life, Obiang, the head of the military, staged a coup. Macías fled to his village, burning what was left of the national treasury. He was captured after a short but violent struggle. A trial was held. The charges against him were staggering: genocide, mass murder, embezzlement, treason. The evidence was overwhelming. Witnesses recounted a decade of unspeakable horrors. Francisco Macías Nguema was found guilty and sentenced to death, but a final, bizarre problem emerged. The local soldiers were so terrified of Macías' supposed magical powers that they refused to carry out the execution, fearing his ghost would return to haunt them. The new government had to fly in a detachment of Moroccan soldiers to form the firing squad. On September 29, 1979, the unique miracle was executed. His death marked the end of one of the most brutal and bizarre dictatorships of the 20th century. Today, his name is rarely spoken in Equatorial Guinea. His rule was so traumatic that the nation has tried to collectively forget. But we must not forget the story of Francisco Macías Nguema is a terrifying reminder of how quickly a nation's dream can become one man's nightmare, and how unchecked power, fueled by paranoia, can lead to absolute madness. It's a dark chapter of history that serves as a chilling warning, a story that needs to be told, precisely because it was almost erased. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as shocking as we did, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the darkest corners of history.